just finished working out at the gym, and I had a few thoughts and things that I wanted to say about that. I have had like a history of autoimmune and lots of different autoimmune diseases, and I'm not trying to like complain about that or anything like that, just trying to be real with you guys. And a couple years ago I'd been in a car accident too, and I had just a major setback because of my pain was already bad enough, and then it just continued to get worse with that accident, and I saw very little improvement. So whenever we decided to move to Texas, I knew that one thing that I had felt better doing was swimming. It helped me to feel better. So we tried to find a house that had a pool, which was awesome that God worked that out. And that would also be something that we could do as a family with our friends and invite people over and things like that. So that went pretty good, for about a month and a half, because we bought a pool that doesn't have heat in it, and we don't usually have that cool of a fall, but this year it has been different, and fall came in, and it came early, and I was like, okay, so we were beginning our homeschooling because we had to unpack everything and get ready for that, so we were starting a little bit late. And so we're just like rolling, and then as things kept going, I'm like, man, okay, we swam as much as we could, in the time that we had, but it was short-lived. I was like, I really need to do something, I used to lift weights very regularly when I was younger, before I had kids, and I had tried to keep it up, but getting the baby loaded, all of that, dropping them off at daycare, at the gym, and most of the time they'd be screaming and all of that, we kind of quit doing that. It just never worked out. And we had memberships before COVID, and we were having a lot of problems at the gym we were at. No matter what, the pain that I have exercising is not near the pain that I endure on a regular basis. You cannot rest your way out of this, when you get injured. You can rest for a little while, you can do the heat, the ice, and all of those things, but it's not going to improve with rest after you get past a couple weeks, But I just felt so bad, and I didn't have the motivation to do it. And as I moved back to Texas, I began seeing my previous doctor, and he gave me a different supplement that I had tried before. And it started to help with motivation and energy for things, but I'm not going to get into that because it's very complicated. But I just decided that I wanted to start working out again because I was feeling even just a little bit better, just a little bit more energy, or even knowing that if I don't do this, it can really, hurt me for the rest of my life. I've been told that I might end up in a wheelchair anyway. And I'm not saying that I believe that. It's just in the back of my mind that if I don't continue to really press forward and strive to live a healthy life, to do the best that I can, and to continue to look for alternative ways to improve my health, and also just want to live the best days that I have. You know what I'm saying? No matter what days we have on earth, are we living our best days? I'm not saying it's my only focus. It's just something that is important. And I just want to encourage you that wherever you're at, whether it be that you are sick, or you feel stuck, or mentally you're struggling, maybe you're depressed. After the holidays can be a hard time for some people. Sorry, I'm getting emotional about it, but because I know people that have struggled with it. I've struggled with depression at times in my life too, or anxiety. No matter where you're at, don't think that you're not worth it. Don't think that God doesn't want you to take care of yourself, or to put you on the list even. Those are all lies from Satan. And I think that and I don't want to just say as moms, dads are really busy too, but moms and dads, single parents, pretty much everyone out there, teenagers, you are important. You matter. The Lord loves you. He wants us to take care of ourselves. He wants us to be able to use our talents, gifts, abilities, and bodies to glorify Him every day. And if we are so sick that all we can do is lay in the bed, it is not going to be as beneficial. So that's part of my motivation. But I decided a couple months back that I had to start going to the gym. No matter how much it hurt, no matter how hard it was to get there, we would figure it out. We don't live very far from a gym. I, in the past, have worked out at home, and that works out fine for me. But this was something that both me and my husband talked about. We both needed to do this. He prefers going to the gym, and so we looked at it as a way, one, something that we could do for ourselves to take care of our bodies, for our mental health. There's a lot of studies that have shown that exercise is so beneficial for mental health. I also know that my husband really enjoys going and doing the lifting weights and stuff. Do what works for you. And maybe you don't have the money to do it. You don't have to have any equipment. I really think walking at home is a good thing. I think there are walking videos, there are sit and fit videos if that's what you need to do. And there have been times where I could not get out of bed, and that was all I could do. Whatever it is, when I was really sick, getting up, trying to stand up, walking a little bit and trying to do that every hour, So we're all at different places, and that kind of is up to you. But one thing I want to encourage you is don't put off for tomorrow. This is not my quote. I don't know where it came from. I think I read it in a book. Anyway, I probably could look it up, but you can't too. Google it. Don't put off for tomorrow what you can do today. Because today is the day. We're not promised tomorrow. And I've often heard this, like, we need to do this, we need to put others first. And yes, that is true. The Bible does talk about putting the interest of others, but it also says for us to, well, I'll just read it from the Bible, but it says Matthew 22, verse 37 through 38, it says, Jesus replied, love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment, and the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. Many times I thought, okay, that means we got to love our neighbor. We need to love our neighbor. And that is so true. We are supposed to love our neighbor. But if we don't love ourselves, if we're not willing to care enough about ourselves, then how are we going to love others? Because God showed us what love is. It was about sacrifice, right? He sacrificed His Son for us. He showed us what the ultimate love is, even though we didn't deserve it. And sometimes our neighbors don't deserve it. And we don't always deserve it either. That's what I'm saying. Satan wants to believe that you don't deserve it. Because we don't really deserve anything. We're anything good, but God has graciously allowed us to live. He wants us to live a glorified life for Him, and to have joy, peace, and patience, and kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, and love. And the only way that we can do that is if we take care of ourselves first. So mom, dad, single parents, whoever you are, grandparents, taking care of your grandchildren, just remember that you are important, and you make the list. And it might mean carving out 5 minutes a day to do something for yourself. And it may not mean every day. I don't go to the gym every day, but I have to make it a priority. I set a goal for how much I want to go. And what I've realized is it's not only improved my strength, but it gives me time to think through thoughts, to pray, to listen to worship music, to listen to the Bible, and to come back filled up more than when I left. And I hope that you won't put off what you've been putting off, whether it be exercise or whatever that new goal is for you this year. And it doesn't have to start at the beginning of the year. New Year's resolutions are great, but start today. Get going. Make a goal. Make it achievable for you. Start small, and then as you continue to grow, push yourself a little bit more.